I would wonder, and I asked immediately when Elder Lawya told me that the channel was striked, why? We go out of our way just to teach the word in the Spirit of Christ, not looking to offend anyone, but to bring everyone to the word and path, the word of God, and put our people on the path of Christ, regardless of the sin we're in. Right? As much life with us, be at peace with all men. So what's so threatening that you would need to take down a video from 2015, one might ask? This video been up for 4 years. So what violation you have found now that wasn't a violation in 2015? I need y'all to check out the title of this specific video that took our page down. The final siege of the children of Israel was the video that was against YouTube community rules. I didn't go into cursing people out or breaking down something about other people. I just identified in 2015 while overseas where the children of Israel are scattered and what plans the world government is putting in place to depopulate us all over the earth. What are they doing systematically and politically aimed towards destroying our people by showing, no, nothing of opinion, but actual factual historical documentation of what they've did to our people since 70 AD. Using events which were actually culminated or created by government, but at the end of those events, it was our people at the edge of their slaughter. So they'll put out a story that claims that something is happening politically within the environment that leads to the government to make stringent laws to keep everyone safe. But at the end of it, the people that they claim did the event aren't the people targeted. It's us, like it was in 70 AD. Now, it's deep that this video they took down was 2015. Donald Trump wasn't in office, was he? But in that particular video, folks, I gave the analogy or the similitude or prophecy of how Nero charged his mercenaries in the Roman army to burn 7 block cities in Rome. And eventually they blamed that on the black Jews who are Jews. A false flag, which led to them destroying us in 70 AD. And Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, what? Being displaced or dispersed in the different parts of Africa due to a lie. How these events are not really for what they claim they're for, because at the end of the day, we must more so focus on the laws that's passed because of the events. And the laws that's passed usually affects who? Us, the poor. So indirectly, they're attacking us without saying it, because they're saying, well, listen, I have to put some laws in place because someone shot some people over here, or someone shot some people over there. And all of our people will agree with me, yeah, these crazy white guys are out shooting people, and we need to do something about these white people just losing their mind and shooting people, and have our people in agreement with it. But folks, the laws that are passed are not going to affect those white people. The laws that are being put in place will have it where you will not be able to defend yourself like we weren't able to defend ourselves in 70 AD. The laws are put in place to have military within your communities. It has nothing to do with the event. Like I say, don't focus and get all up in an emotional frenzy over these events they showing on TV. Focus on the laws that's being passed. Our people are so busy being emotionally triggered that we'll go along with any legislation thinking that it has nothing to do with us. Oh, well, it's y'all crazy white people when you feel a certain type of way, go shoot up something. And because it's not black, you would immediately agree with any law to stop that, not realizing that was just a bait and switch. The same way bin Laden was a bait and switch, and eventually they began to do what? Make laws against citizens within the United States. It had nothing to do with someone in a cave. Why am I putting this out there to you, brothers and sisters? They took the video down because they don't want any people out here listening to this video today and realize that Bible prophecy was broken down by this church, highlighting the laws they put in place now. They don't want you to put two and two together. They don't want you to know there's no difference between an Obama administration and a Trump administration. They don't want you to know this. Right now, and I can go on YouTube and see how people acting a fool, cursing people out, fighting, dealing with all types of debauchery against each other, sinning, hurting each other, and not once is any of those particular videos tagged as inappropriate. Wow. It's okay. They say they struck it for 1 week. And what they're trying to do really is to have YouTube become a corporate mainstream platform and take all of the regular content creators that's not dealing with foolishness off of it. That's what they're doing. We did nothing wrong but tell the truth. But you better take heed. What we're going to do is we're going to make a channel specifically and a streaming channel strictly with the videos that have been censored by this world. Because these videos they're taking down, these are calculated scenarios. They're taking down videos that are pointing out the rules and laws they have put in place. And they don't want you to know that the Most High showed us it would get put in place beforehand. And wake up and come back to the Most High. And I'm listening to what's going on politically. Nero lied, and as a pretext, 7-8 years later, what happened? Vespasian and Titus had a trench around Jerusalem, killing our people with the sword. No Jews burned cities of Rome. That was a lie. They burned their own city to blame it on us as a pretext to have an army walk amongst Jerusalem for the first time. So you will see military, armed forces walking in your communities very soon. And the Bible tells us, when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, Jerusalem is any place our people reside. Flee into the wilderness. Know that that's an engagement. And they're not going to put these laws in place because of some rogue guy shot up someone in a mass event. It has nothing to do with that. Because you cannot stop anyone from going rogue. That's number one. And the so-called Constitution was put in place so that I can have legal protection with a gun if someone went rogue. But they're playing a switch and bait again. They're making you believe that it's a gun that's the issue. Looking to disarm the population before engagement. What we said in 2015 is happening right now. They're disarming the population and at the same time building a wall, and it happened in history before. This ain't hate speech. What I'm speaking is not my opinion. This is history. Every war was so-called provoked with an event that led to what? The New World Order consolidating power to put the whole earth in servitude since the time of Rome. And they don't want you to realize that. So never look at these individual events as anything but part of the agenda to do what? To put you in serious bondage again. Wake up. Wake up. The people in Texas, especially these Texas people, they could care less about a road guy going around shooting something because everyone got a gun in Texas. These are controlled scenarios, folks. How dare somebody come into a room where the real guys are in Texas and think they can shoot something up and not lose their life in an instant? Y'all have to wake up, folks. And in that video in 2015, what did I break down? I broke down, okay, also, really keep an eye on when they do one of these events in Texas, because that's where the gun laws are the toughest. When I say the gun laws, the people stand for the Constitution, and they're not the toughest, but they claim that the gun laws are lax in Texas. And that's really the last battleground where they'll have a civil war before giving up guns. If you see an event in Texas, know they're about to disarm the whole United States. So they conveniently, when I broke that down and compared it into what happened in Rome, they immediately targeted that video and say, well, hold up. Trump wasn't in place. There was no mass shooting in Texas. You want someone to see a video that, and the name of the video was GOCC End Time Prophecies. Check that out. It was our prophecy videos breaking down what to look for before the siege.
And I remember you saying you was going to repost it in the academy.
And I said I was going to repost it in the academy.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah, I said I was going to repost it. Why? Because it's exactly what's going on right now. The powers that be are working from a script. The same script that put us under siege in 70 AD, folks. Now, I'm not going to say that this is just an attack against black people or Hispanic people. Being poor means you're just at, you're just at the blunt end of it all. Because you don't have no finances or nothing to try to get you from out of your current condition. So usually the poorest people suffer worse in war. It's just the way it is. I'm not saying that only black people are going to suffer or Hispanic people. No. What you see in these events are a war against the civilian population and those who are protected under the Constitution, period. Every right taken away under this so-called law will make every person vulnerable who feel that there's some level of protection under the Constitution. You just keep in mind, when they drafted the Constitution, it wasn't so that you can have rights. Understand that. It was to protect the elitist power in place that have enslaved us. It was never meant for us. Now that we are learning to execute and exercise some of the privileges of the Constitution, they're saying, well, no, it wasn't for you. We're taking that back. That's not for you. No, there was a shooting over here and a shooting over there. We're taking that law from you. And the only people that can have guns or protection are law enforcement and military. The power structure. Because it was always meant to be in place for the power structure to keep slaves. They needed a right to bear arms in the 1600s and 1700s and 1800s. Why? Because they were enslaving the planet, setting up colonies. You understand? It was their right to protect themselves from the people they were colonizing. It wasn't your right. So now that everyone everywhere, I'm receiving these articles too. Everyone everywhere now has a right to carry. And while I'm saying that, yes, you have the right to carry. But please do not bring no weapons into our sanctuary ever. Okay? Ain't no one going to harm you in here. Leave your right to protection, because I believe you have the right to protect yourself in your car. Please, if you have the right. But you still should have that right. Okay. And what I'm saying here, folks, these events that goes down is to do what? To take the rights away from those who are now exercising it. Because I'm looking, when you look at what's going on within these cities now, our people everyone have a right to carry right now. Everyone is carrying. You weren't supposed to do that. No, that wasn't for you. You're okay? So understand the first part of what you would call warfare is psychological, to make you believe there's an issue, and that's why they use the news for these events, psychological. And they'll have you in agreement with it, saying, yeah, these crazy white people shooting up everything. Let's protect ourselves. They shot up a black church. Come on, man. Some white guy come into a black church with a gun, he can get dealt with immediately. There's no way there would have been a trial for this guy if it happened like they said it happened. Okay? He would have been dealt with. And then the authorities would have been called in afterwards to clean up the mess. Okay? That was to put us on board with the laws they're about to pass against everybody. Oh yeah, the white guys coming in the black church shooting stuff up. Wake up, folks. That's psychological warfare. The news is used for that. And if it did happen, so what? Let me have the right to continue to protect myself in case he pop up over here. What about that? Mm-hmm. But the conversation is not going to be law-abiding citizens having the right to protect themselves. The conversation is going to become the inanimate object, the inanimate object, which is a weapon. It's going to be a part of the conversation of what lax laws were lax in Texas, which led to this guy getting a gun. And all these so-called maniacs, right? These so-called maniacs conveniently become Shakespeare right before the event. Right. They leave a manifesto, an eloquent manifesto leading up to the heinous crime, to conveniently tie all things together concerning his mindset. And he'll conveniently call the government and let them know, I'll be leaving a manifesto at the foot of my bed. Right. And I'm about to shoot up this, that, and the other. Right. Are you kidding? Folks, wake up. It's exactly what we were talking about years ago. And that's segueing me now into what I really wanted to talk about. Because I don't get triggered by these so-called television events at all. What I do, I let the smoke clear with the talking heads, and I don't let that sway my opinion one bit. I automatically don't believe first anything I see on TV. Automatically. What I do believe is the laws that's passed because of it. Because that's what affects us. Not what we see on TV affects us. That will not get me emotionally triggered. What laws are they looking to put in place because of it is my focus. So I let the smoke clears when it comes to all this, the yellow tape and people running and all. Nah, yeah, okay. You can just turn off the volume and just change characters for all these events. The same thing. Yeah, okay. Sandy, okay. Is that the other? Okay. I don't want to see it. You might as well use the same footage you used for that event. Who cares? It may be the same footage. Who cares? Right. I need to know what laws are being passed in that specific state that will take away the laws within that particular state. We have to look at it from a political angle and not an emotional triggered angle. Because being emotionally triggered into what they're showing you is you being in an agreement with it and saying, well, it's okay that I give up a few of my rights to keep me safe. No, I'm going to exercise my right that you claim I have, that I pay taxes for, to keep myself safe. Government was never in place to keep us safe. Are you kidding me? No, that's not a government's job. The government's job is to make sure the roads are paved right. I pay my taxes to be able to roll my car on a road without potholes. And you're doing a bad job with that. We just need you to pass laws that allow me to execute or operate righteously in the freedom that agrees with my Bible. You don't never pay. Who pays government to keep them safe? What? Al Qaeda's at the border? Okay. But if that's not the case, no. Disarming someone isn't keeping them safe, folks. Because why? The criminals don't get licenses for protection. So what you're doing is you're making the righteous victims to the criminals who will have guns, and then real events will go on, like what's going on in our communities right now. So I'm saying, folks, do not get emotionally triggered with these events. If there's something coming up, and if you see a shooting or something that you read about, make sure you transition beyond the emotional triggers. Don't even look at the pictures or the guy or none of the manifesto. Don't listen to the talking heads. Go and see what gun law that's actually, folks, up for voting in that particular state. And you'll understand the reason why it's all happening. What that means for the people in that state, if you believe it happened. What laws are in place that will now take away your rights while you still have them? Okay? This is the knowledge you need to know. Because there's a certain point in these prophecies, these entire prophecies, that's going to lead to our people leaving. And here's another thing. Someone just sent me, I don't know if you sent me or another person sent me, an article not too long ago saying that there's a phenomenon going on in America. There's more black people traveling on the outside of America than at any time in history. So how would you know that if you weren't watching and examining the traveling of black people? I've never seen an article, man, there's more American Chinese people traveling all over the earth. This is inordinate. And it needs to be really examined why more Chinese people are traveling outside of America. I've never heard this for white people. All the time, even in school and other times, I hear, white people saying, yeah, I just came from a trip from over Europe. And it's normal conversation. Europe was a place on the map for me growing up. Right? That's like you going into the stars. Back then, I believe the moon, the moon landing was true. Going to Europe was like you going to the moon when I was in the 6th grade. Right? So here it is. Right? Folks, I'm going to tell you right now. Our awakening, the Most High doing his part in this prophecy, like promised, has every eye on the children of Israel. Every eye. Because now we've made it to the point of not blaming other people anymore. We've made it to the point where it's not even about them. What can we do for the prize that was promised and change ourselves is this phase. This is the phase they were afraid of. They would rather we deal on the trigger level of black-white argument. No. What can we do to change our condition instead of pointing to someone else as the blame for it? Is where we are. And that leads me to what I want to talk about today. When the Most High began to wake up our people, the children of Israel, we began to say no to a lot of things. We began to immediately say no. In the infancy stage, no, I'm not going to church on Sunday no more. No, I'm not eating pork anymore. Shrimp, crabs, and lobster. I'm not eating it anymore. No, I'm not celebrating Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving. I'm not celebrating none of these holidays, which are holy days. Now, folks, eyes is synonymous with wise. So if they told you that it was a holy day, you would ask, holy day according to what? Because the holy days are written up in the Bible. Either they're God's holy days or Satan's. So what they did was they called it holiday so that we couldn't understand that it's an actual under Satan. They called it holiday. But it's a holy day. Okay, holy day comes with ceremonies and sacrifices. These must be in the Bible. I'm a Christian. So we immediately began to say no. But folks, this is where we're pivoting now. The next level of being an Israelite is knowing when to say no. On this level. Right? The topic of this real quick, and then I'm going to give it right back to the bishop, is that it's okay to say no in a world of sin. Why am I going here? Why am I going here? Let me tell you, you know what? I mean, I'm getting chills right now looking at this congregation, folks. Because what I'm seeing here, right, it's a phenomenon that I didn't know existed anywhere, or I didn't even know, I never knew that I would even be a part of what I'm seeing right now. What am I seeing? Folks out there, because I'm online, may wonder. As I'm teaching, I'm looking at brothers, watching the flock and looking over the flock, and making sure every sister and brother have a cold beverage in front of them. It's like they're watching to make sure you're okay, and then without you moving, a brother is coming to give you a beverage. I didn't put that in place. I mean, what a beautiful people, man. I wish for one moment, instead of them promoting the debauchery and the negative of our people, that they would give an opportunity to highlight who we really are, man. I'm seeing it. Brothers and sisters, but now here's a new level. It's okay to say no in a sinful world. I'm not going to be long with this, but the Most High gave me this lesson this morning. It's to the degree in which initially when I spoke to Bishop Ahmad, I told him, I'm like, let's just go with what you got to go with. I'm going to play the back for a minute. And I'll just come in later and just say a few things when I call him. But out of nowhere, the Most High gave me a lesson that I had to relate to you all that applies to all of us. It applies. How many times we sacrifice ourselves in saying yes for something or someone who don't appreciate it. And we end up getting a blowback, a negative blowback for saying yes. In a scenario in which we knew we should have ran. We knew we should have said no. But now you feel obligated to stay under a bad choice. It's okay to say no. It's okay. Let me break this down to you, folks. The greatest, matter of fact, let's get Matthew 5 and 33 real quick. Matthew 5 and 33, let me break it down. Because now we've come to the knowledge of the truth, brothers and sisters, and learn to say no to the world. We must now exercise the spirit to discern good and evil and know when to say no in this truth. Number one, know when to say no to yourself. And know when to say no to others. Okay? When I say no to say no, know when to say no to yourself. How many times, folks, we make a decision when something in our head is ringing, wait. It's ringing, should I or shouldn't I? But then we will formulate something in our mind and create something and say, well, you know what? Maybe this will become what I hope this to be. And automatically you say, yeah. It never becomes what you hope it would be, folks. It is what it is. And I would like to relate that analogy to that tree of good and evil. When the Most High give you some signs where there's doubt, until you figure that out, the answer is all the way no. It's just like Sunday service. It's just like pork chops. It's just like bread and shrimp. Because why? You will never get back that time for saying yes. The Most High ringing bells in here. Don't you see this? But because it's what you hope it could be, you allow it in. So what the Most High did with Christ is he gave each individual in this truth a goal, a walk. You are in agreement with an oath from the time you're baptized to finish. You said yes to the Most High. Through that, you made an agreement. Every yes you say going forward must be in agreement with that first. Or it's no. It doesn't matter what you hope it could be. No. Christ and the Most High is a sure thing. Every agreement I'm making in this life going forward will be a sure thing like they are. And usually when I say no, if a person feels a certain type of way about it, I understand who sent them. I understand that they still have something to work out. And you're not going to work it out while being with me. Okay? Because when you make an agreement with a person, and I was talking to the elders and my sons in the office about this, especially if let's use relationships as an example. When you make an agreement to be with a person, the Bible tells us that when two flesh lay together, those two flesh becomes one. If you deal with a person that's in agreement with Satan, you will begin to take on their attributes and become a new being. You'll think differently. Your thoughts will be differently. Your decisions will be differently because it's not just how you focus and think anymore. You're taking on someone's baggage, and now there's mental or spiritual health issues. Understand when you're making an agreement, ritual. Folks, it's an oath. And when you do make these decisions, when your mind was telling you no, it usually takes 2-3 years from your life. And then you're in it the whole time saying, well, you know what? I can make it work. When it was built on a lie. You lied to yourself when the Most High told you, run. It was the Holy Spirit in your mind saying, you know what you see. Everybody around you is telling you, and you're trying to make it be what you hope it could be. Then you begin to make an excuse for the agreement. Try to sell it as if it's all tulips and flowers and roses. Every agreement we make, be it friends, relationships, whatever the case may be, business relationships, that agreement must be in line with the agreement I have with the Most High. And the answer to that is no. Why did they want to kill Christ? We're talking about it today, communion. Because Christ said no. No. You cannot use the alabaster box for what you want to use it for. No. It's for my burial, understanding that he had to die for the sins of the nation. And because of this, Judas slimy behind went behind his back and began to do what? You got it. Began to calculate and conspire to kill him. Folks, let me tell you something what happens when you make that agreement in baptism. That you probably didn't know, but you probably know, but let me remind you. When you make that agreement between you and the Most High, some of the most heinous things you did in life comes to mind, and you're thanking the Most High that you're cleansed of it. I'm like, man, I only get one opportunity for this. So I need to think about everything I'm putting down right now. And it's only between you and him. I don't know what it is, but unless you want to confess it and talk to me about it one day, but the Most High does. Right? So when you make that agreement in your mind, folks, immediately when you go under that water, it's an operation like it's written up in the book of Romans. And you're coming up a new creature with what? A spirit that attaches to your conscience. That if any choice comes before you that's in disagreement with it, automatically something comes to your mind to say, wait, no, you're going too fast. Why? Because the agreement was for the Most High to forgive those same issues that got you to the water. So when you're about to make that same mistake again, that voice is like, remember at the baptism, you asked the Most High to forgive you for this? It's about to happen again. Now, you can go into it, and you can go into that agreement. I'm going to always be here, but you're going to lose time in that original agreement you made with me. It's okay to say no, folks. So many times we compromise our morality and what's right for the sake of not ruffling feathers. Or you sacrifice for someone who don't appreciate it because what? What? Because I'm a loving person, and that's my issue, that I'm just a loving person. When we only have a short life, folks, this life is short. And why lose it on a bad agreement? That agreement that don't align with the Most High's. We're making an agreement with Satan. Read it, Elder Lawya. Let me show you. You have to know when you are in bed or in an agreement with Satan. But even before that, you have to know, folks, based on that original agreement, when someone is going to come in and divert you from the agreement you made with the Most High. No. Those two words, or nay, those two letters, or nay, can be your saving grace. By a show of hands, how many people wished in life that they have said no, and it led them to years of misery? Come on, come on, yeah. And you have some people out there who will get mad if you say no to them. Well, hold up. It's like you shot their dog or something, and they believe you don't like them because you said no. No. And this is how you know, folks, who's really in agreement with the Most High, who sticks around even when you disagree with him, even when you're saying no. Let's read it on. Let's go down these scriptures. Read it.
Yes, sir. This is St. Matthew chapter 5, verse 33.
We're going to read that down to 37. Read it.
Yes, sir. Again, you have heard that it have been said of them, by them of old, thou shalt not forswear thyself.
Thou shalt not what?
Forswear thyself.
Come on.
But shalt perform unto the Lord thine oaths.
Thy oaths or agreements. Let me tell you, folks, every time you're in a transaction with someone, that's an agreement. Every time a guy meets a girl and the girl meets a guy, or you get a friend in your life, that's an agreement. That's an agreement. So it's against the law of the Most High to put yourself in agreement with sin, being a child of the Most High in agreement with that oath you made with the Most High in Christ. So now I have, or you have, a barometer by which by all agreements begin. And I'm not going to make an excuse because I want to be with this person, or I want to make sure I don't ruffle no feathers because, you know, I don't like confrontation. No, the answer is no. Okay? Because no means stop. Give me space to consult the Holy Spirit or time with the Most High to realize what am I giving my soul to, my spirit to? Stop? No, because my emotions may allow me to make a serious error that will take years from my life. And life is short. Okay. Read.
Verse 34. But I say unto you, swear not at all.
Come on.
Neither by heaven, for it is the Most High's throne.
Come on.
Nor by the earth, for it is his footstool.
And here it is. This is when you know you're dealing with a liar. Okay. And we all grew up with them. Somewhere in our family or whatever the case is. The guy or girl will always say, I swear to God.
Right.
You're going to bring God into this, huh? That's why the Lord said don't swear, because a truthful person wouldn't have to continually say that. You are a liar. You got people swearing on their kids and all that. Liar. Okay. Read.
Nor by earth, for it is his footstool.
Come on.
Neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black.
Come on.
But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay.
Let your communication be what?
Yea, yea, nay, nay.
Be final. If you're going to say yes, understand what comes with it. So if you're going to say yes, you better examine it up, down, and around in every way. Knowing it can add to your life or take from it. Let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Be final. Let me tell you, folks, I remember growing up in a world where if a young man wanted to get with a girl, you can expect the answer to be no 90% of the time. Even if she liked you, because she was held to a higher standard. Even if she liked you, she would say no, because, okay, it's no right now. Let's see if he's willing to work for this prize. And even though it's like, oh, man, please have a call, please. But she's still saying no. I remember that time where a guy had to know that it wasn't about just a date or saying you was cute or whatever to get with someone. Or I like how you look on this picture or that picture to get with someone. It was work. I remember growing up and you had to work for get to at least 2 Christmases before getting a kiss.
2 years. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna tell you right now. They're like, listen, yeah, hey, and especially if you was going for, the top, because she's looking at your gift and comparing it to what someone else gave. This little thing. You got one more Christmas. Yeah, I think you look a little cute, so we're going to give you one more Christmas. You got a whole 12 months to get it right. But all I'm saying, folks, is the power that the sisters had in no was paramount to everything, because it meant family staying together. This man is going to work hard. He worked for me. He worked for me. And then you look in the scriptures, it's not no coincidence, it's not ironic. Our father Jacob worked 7 years for Rachel and was tricked and had to work 7 more. The power of no. Because if all this guy wants is a quick moment, immediately he's going to find someone easier. You have saved yourself from misery. A man that's not willing to work for his woman is not a man. And that's the power you sisters have. And then you will think about the competition. Well, if I don't do this, then somebody else may get her. You know what? You will thank her later. You can have it. Okay? Listen to what I'm saying here. The power of no. Let's go to Amos 3:3, Elder Rawchaa.
Amos chapter 3, verse 1.
3 and 3.
3 and 3, Lawya. Can 2 walk together except they be agreed?
Can 2 walk together lest they be agreed? Before you walk with someone, know everything about them. When I say know everything, like back when I was growing up, fathers was in the house, where if you go with a girl, the father would answer the door on purpose. You think you looking this way, knowing that she's a little shorter than you, smiling at the door, thinking that she's coming to the door. And then when a door opens, you got to do like this. Folks, the agreement came with the father saying from the gate, from the giddy up, boy, what's your goals? Tell me your goals. What's your father do? Is your father and mother together? I'm like, yo, what's up with this dude? Is it an interview? She stepped to me. He's like, let me tell you, it was the fathers, folks, standing there saying, listen, what I instilled in this girl is going to be for a man with goals. This is a woman. This is a prize right here. And before you come into this house, you have to let me know what church you go to back then, what church you go to, what's your goals. But of course, we're living in a world now where fathers are not there. And it's a shame to protect their daughters and be that buffer to moderate his daughter's emotions. Like, listen, baby girl. I'm not saying this for this moment right now. I'm dealing with this for 20 or 30 years down the line. Okay? So that you can get the happiness that's deserved. Two can't walk together unless they agree. You have to know that they agree with your God. Period. You can't spring something on someone else later and say, well, you know, the things that you see now, I was going to let you know later. No, this is stuff I should have seen first. Because I'm in agreement with the Most High, because when the Most High, when I went to that water, Isaiah told me that was agreement in Isaiah 2, in Isaiah the first chapter, where it says, even though their sins are red as crimson, they should be washed white as snow. The Most High told me everything about what this agreement meant before I decided to hit the water. And I'm not going to find out about you later. Here's my goals. My goal is the kingdom of heaven. Okay? My goal is I don't eat these things. I don't go out and do what the world does. I serve the God of Israel. And you find out what his or her goals are. If the goal is to get you, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Because it's all of you. Keep in mind, this person is not just getting your physical part. They're getting all of you. And on the other hand, if you are about to lay with Satan's son or daughter, you're getting all of them. Two can't walk together unless they be agreed. I need you to jump right down. Let's go Ecclesiastes real quick. 4:22. I need y'all to check this out, folks, how you must make this what you would call biblical interview. When it comes to having a friend, someone in your life, or even looking to one day have a husband or a wife. Let's read Ecclesiastes 4:22, some wisdom. Read.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 4, verse 22. Accept no person against thy soul.
Read it again.
Accept no person against thy soul.
Read it again.
Accept no person against thy soul.
Accept no person against thy soul. Some people get when you get with someone and believe you're going to change that person within the relationship. They are against what you believe and know. If they lie to you to get you and you find out, what do you think the relationship is going to be? A lie. The whole thing is a lie. Something came to your mind, all the signs were there, and you ignored it because you made this fairy tale of what you hoped it was. Oh, the Most High must have sent him or her. That had to be the Most High. I came outside and I went to get my keys, and I came back, and if I wouldn't have got my keys, we wouldn't have ran into each other. It must have been the Lord's divine intervention. And you sitting there with Satan's son or daughter saying hello. I don't believe in no coincidences. And guess what? Satan does. That's what you say. I don't believe in no coincidences. Trying to bring God in it.
Right.
Satan doesn't either. Presents the tree of good and evil. And have it where you have to make these decisions. Because when it comes to the Most High, there's no decision needed. When it's right, it's clear. Anytime you have to make a decision, yes or no, 9 times out of 10, if no is in there, evil is in the midst of it. The Most High is not the author of confusion. And the Most High is not, he's not emotionally driven. Okay? It's your actions that endear a man or a woman with the Most High. It's not how you look. He's not carnally driven. So when we are making an agreement with someone, your decisions cannot be carnally driven. It has to be, first of all, what agreement do you have with the Most High? And don't try to be with a person or have an agreement with the person and then later say, well, yeah, I can bring them in later. No, that phase comes first. The phase of convincing them to get with the Most High comes first, not afterwards. Because once you're in agreement, you can't go back now. You go, yo, you agree with me like this. You knew who I was. I'm not changing. People don't change. That's another thing, folks. People usually don't change unless they're under the agreement and have fear of the Most High. And even that, they're still the same person. It's just now they have the spirit to discern good and evil and to buffet and keep that sinful man or woman in subjection. But it's still the same person. People don't change. So don't think you're going to get with somebody and that you're so special that they're going to change for you. That don't exist. You are who you met. You're with who you met. Folks, read it again.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 4, verse 22.
Come on.
Except no person against thy soul.
Except no person against your soul, against what you know is right. Because it's just Satan throwing stuff on the road to divert you. Don't accept a person against what you know is right. You lose 5, 10, 15 years. Probably a few kids sprinkled in between. That's 18 years. Don't accept no one against what you know is right and try to excuse it. Because once you're with a person, you're bind with that person, and that's half you. All the stuff you disagree with, you're going to find yourself doing those things. Because now you've made a union with Satan and have binded yourself with a spirit. Let me tell you, folks, like I said before, and I mentioned it in many classes, going back to relationships, every time a man and woman does whatever they do that bring forth children, it's a spiritual moment, one way or the other. It's a spirit for the heavens, or you'll bring forth a spirit for hell. It's a ritual almost. Every time. Because you are exchanging spirits the same time. You will find yourself saying some of the things this person say without conscience, without even thinking. You'll allow your attributes, some of what you do, without you consciously thinking about it. You're going to find yourself doing it. And someone looking from the outside be like, man, she walks like him. What is this? Certain sayings and all that, because you've actually exchanged spirits. That's scary if you're Satan's son or daughter. It says, accept no person against thy soul, which means hold yourself accountable and understand that you require of that person what the Most High requires of you. Period. And if they don't fit the bill right now, guess what? We're not ready for this. We're not ready for this. I don't care how either of us look. Let's go to Isaiah 28 and 14 and 15. I'm going to digress in a moment.
Isaiah chapter 28, verse number 14.
And don't forget when the Most High says, man, I'll tell you this, man. This brings a whole nother level to when the Most High says in the law, in Exodus 20, have no other God before him, for he's a jealous God. We make an agreement with the Most High first to fulfill our purpose towards his kingdom. And then link in with a person who's serving another master. Now the Most High, oh, you made an agreement with me. What's this? How can you make an agreement with me in hell too? Read it.
Isaiah chapter 28, verse number 14.
Come on.
Wherefore hear the word of the Lord, ye scornful men that rule this people which is in Jerusalem.
Come on.
Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death.
Have made an agreement with death. Read.
And with hell.
And with hell.
Are we at agreement?
Are we at agreement? A lot of us don't realize that this perpetual curse we're under is because we continually make agreements and a covenant with death and hell and excuse it. Continually. Read.
And with hell we are at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our refuge.
We have made what?
Lies our refuge.
Excuses. Hiding what you know is true. You've made lies your refuge, making an excuse for your agreement. How many times we make an agreement for something or make an excuse for something we know is wrong? Man, we're good for that. Oh, no, it's just a bad day. No, it's not a bad day. That's a bad life right there. That's a bad life right there. You ain't pulling me into no misery. Let's go to Isaiah. Let's go now to Romans 6 and 16. I'm going to go down to the 22nd verse. This brings a whole nother level to God being a jealous God. You made a covenant and an agreement to stay on this path as a vessel for the Most High. And then we connect ourselves to what? Sinful vessels. And that's why the Bible tells us that we can't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. If two oxen are yoked, and they're pulling the plow for a garden, suppose one ox is going this way stubborn, and the other ox is going that way, yet they're yoked together. You think any seeds will be planted there? If both are tugging in one place, trying to get the other to follow him or her, nothing is getting done. Two stubborn oxen trying to pull each. And if you get or operate with an unbeliever or make a covenant with an unbeliever, you're going to find yourself standing still. Why? Because by default, they're already on a course to hell. And you may be on a course this way, and y'all yoked together, trying to pull each other either way. Stagnation sits in. And you're sitting there, time is going by. And be like, man, I'm the same place I was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and this person looking like it's acting as if this is normal. When we should have goals to finish together. Read it. Romans 6 and 16.
Yes, sir. Romans chapter 6, verse 16.
Come on.
Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey?
Know ye not to whom you yield your vessel servants to obey. Read it again.
Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey?
To obey.
His servants ye are to whom ye obey.
You're a servant to whom you obey. Christ tells us there's only two masters. There's only two masters. Hold that, get Matthew 6 and 24 and come right back.
Yes, sir.
Understand when you're making an agreement with anyone, folks, that there's only two paths and two masters for this agreement. Either you're making an agreement with the Most High to finish your purpose with him, or you're making an agreement with Satan. There is no in between. Let's read it.
Matthew 6 and 24. No man can serve two masters.
No man can serve two masters. I don't care what they tell you. How many religions in this earth? There's only two forces in this earth, good and evil. There's only two masters at variance, one against another. The Most High and Satan. That's it. Anyone that's in the middle, Christ said, is already spewed out. They're on the other side also. The lukewarm is still being controlled under Satan. Read.
For either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other.
Look at that. So by default, if you're with the Most High and making an agreement with someone who's down with Satan, understand this person hates the God you serve. Okay. And how much of that hate will eventually, sprinkle down on you? Because now you're doing something in disagreement with their actions and their purpose in life. So eventually that hatred they have for God, once the newness is gone and all that, will be focused on that servant. And that's why it says in Romans 16, understand to whom or to what we yield our vessel to. Because every time you yield your vessel to something, you're in agreement with it. Right? Now, if you don't know what to do in an emotionally confused moment, run. That's it. Get away. Avoid. Know yourself. Read it.
Romans 6:14. Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey.
Come on.
Whether of sin unto death, or of obedience unto righteousness. But the Most High be thanked that ye were the servants of sin, but ye have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered you.
Come on.
Being then made free from sin, ye have become servants of righteousness.
We are now being free from sin, have become servants for righteousness. See? That means we made an agreement to do what's right, opposed to how our people are portrayed on this earth. I can help you and be down with you, but I'm not going to compromise my agreement if there's still something in the world pulling you a different way. I'll try to help you, but not at the expense of losing myself. We can be friends, but I'm not going to hell with you. You're not going to now have me carry over a spirit of disobedience from you with this agreement, because I cannot compromise the relationship I have with the Most High. He's a jealous God. And he must approve my agreements. My Father must, just like our fathers used to, our Father must agree with this agreement. See? Come on.
Verse 19, Romans 6, verse 19. I speak after the manner of men because of the infirmity of your flesh. For as ye have yielded your members servants to uncleanness.
The same way we used to yield ourselves unto uncleanness. Now, mind you, this is St. Paul said when he was a child, he thought like a child. But when he came of age, he put away childish things. We just can't be spontaneous anymore and make life decisions off of a moment, not realizing that this what I'm about to do will cost me 10 years. Read.
For as ye have yielded your members servants to uncleanness and to iniquity unto iniquity.
Because at one time we served iniquity. We should spontaneously make decisions off of how we feel or how someone looked. Hey, no marvel. Satan himself appears as an angel of light. So if you want something appealing, Satan will put in front of you exactly what your heart desires. If you're that weak. If we're still operating like children and think that this is boyfriend, girlfriend phase. What verse you at, Elder Lawya?
The end of verse 19.
Come on.
Even so now yield your members servants to righteousness unto holiness.
See that? Your body belongs to the Most High. You must yield it as his servant and not soil it with sinful agreements. See? Are you following me here? Read.
Verse 20.
And I know how it be. Oh my God. But he so cute. Oh, my God. And then other people come. This is how they get you. It ain't that you think a person cute. Someone else is like, I think he's looking at you. And your mom be like, well, hold up, he's not looking at you. I know usually people looking at you, they looking at me. Or, man, yo, she's tired. Yo, I think she should look up, man. Yo, you see, she just looked at you. Now, the carnality in a person would immediately be like, oh, yeah, man, where's she at? Right? Because why? Everyone, to some degree, don't mind a little compliment here, there, and the other, right? But we have to understand what we're yielding our vessel to. Mm-hmm. Right? We have to understand that. Read.
Romans 6:20. For when ye were the servants of sin,
when we were under sin,
you were free from righteousness.
We were free from righteousness. What is righteousness? Listen, it's about getting my swerve on right now. I'm not, the church is telling me I'm under grace, and I'm about to execute all that grace today. Hey, watch this grace tonight. I'm about to this is grace night. Remember when we yield our vessels to straight sin with party nights and all that and made an excuse for it. That's just a little fun, I just had a little fun. No, then most I look at that like, no, Negro, you about to go to hell, dude. Try to downplay it as if that wasn't hell night. I'm under grace. Finish reading.
Verse number 21. What fruit ye had then in those things whereof ye are now ashamed. Now
we look back at it and be like, you know what? We were tripping. The Most High should have jacked me a long time ago. Maybe that's an old word. I don't know. I've asked my son, do they still use jack? New Jack City. What's his name? You a New Jack. Anyway, come on.
Verse 21. What fruit ye had then in those things whereof you are now ashamed.
We are now ashamed of what we used to be. Some of the decisions we used to make. But how can we continue to make those mistakes in the truth? No more are we making relationships based on what we hope a relationship will be. No, what I hope, I need to see now. I'm not hoping anymore. I've been hoping for decades. From one agreement to the next, one relationship to the next, I give it my all and hope it works out. Nah, no more hoping. You're going to be right before I yield my spirit and my soul to you. And you're not asking me, to be a part of this in doing that. No, that's the Most High got to work with you to that point to get you to the point in which we agree. I'm not here to be in an agreement with sin, with liars, with destroyers, and say, well, you know what? I think the Most High put me in my life, in your life, to fix you. Guess who's going to end up broken? You are. You think you're going to fix something. You be like, yo, don't forget that unequally yoked ox. You thinking to fix, and the person looking at, I'm going to break. Mm-hmm. You're here to fix me, but I'm here to break you. That's how it happens, folks. You think you're helping, but you are unequally yoked. Find out, and guess what? Be truthful to yourself when you see what it is. Don't try to hide the uncomely parts for the sake of what you hope disagreement is. I'm going to tell you. You sitting there with super simple in front of you, and while you're in a disagreement and fighting and battling this person who you're not equally yoked with, that right guy or person who the Most High had is walking right by. Walking right by you. Everything you hold just walk right by you while you fighting an oxen. Just wasn't patient enough to wait for the Most High to give it to you. You say that you're down with the Most High, you love the Most High, but yet he says, with patience possess ye your soul. Why you don't wait for me then? If you down with me, I know what you want. I understand what you desire. Why don't you wait for me? See? With patience possess ye your soul. That's why Paul wrote, it was through the Spirit, he wrote this. If you're loose, don't seek to be bound. If you're bound, don't seek to be loose. Why? Because if you loose, it's the time that's your relationship with the Most High. And he'll know when it's ready, because he'll send someone to you like he made Eve for Adam. He will send that person. But if you're loose, you don't need to look for nothing. Stay in your relationship with the Most High and build. And while building, prepare, because he has something great for you. Don't mess it up. We be messing it up. And don't envy the wicked. Don't be downtown and seeing people holding hands and family and think, oh, this is what I'm missing. When these people go behind their picket fences and houses and they're closed doors and throwing blows you can't see. The wife throwing the iron and all that. The ironing board, he's ducking. But yet they got to put on a facade in public. That's part of the facade, folks. So don't envy the wicked when you see them together and think, well, this is what I want, and you rush and make it an agreement with Satan. Where are you in the Lawya?
Verse 22.
Read.
Romans 6, and in fact, the rest of verse 21. What fruit ye had then, and those things whereof you are now ashamed. For the end of those things is death. But now being made free from sin and become servants to the Most High.
Servants to who?
Servants to the Most High.
Servant, and this is how Satan does it now. He know that you're prayed up. He know that when you to yourself, both eyes are open and you're saying, listen, I've made mistakes in life. I'm not going down that road again. Your eyes are wide open. You're spiritual. You're reading. You're following the commandments. You're in a good place. So this is what Satan does. I cannot get to this particular individual in this state of mind. This person is shored up. This person have on the full armor. Guess what? I got someone that's butt out over here. He looks pretty nice, or she looked pretty nice, but that's just sin on wheels right there. So if somehow I can get these two together and they merge, I can now take this person down through that vessel I've always controlled. That's how it works. That's how it works. So we let our heart dictate our path, not realizing that we are in agreement with Satan. He couldn't get you, but he already had someone. So he made what we call people. He made people his Trojan horse in the agreements we make with one another. And I'm going to tell you how it works and how many times we've seen this. And maybe I'm showing my age again. You thought something was from the heavens. Oh, this is perfect. Oh, Lord, have mercy. But you knew in your mind what really is going on. Now, the flesh is over with. All that newness is over with. 3 or 4 months down the line, you're having a conversation that you should have had. Because now I just got to finally get to know this person, actually. And you're looking and you're staring at a wall asking, who am I with? What the H-E-L-L is this? Because the newness is all over, and now you have to have, little stuff like conversations and goals to discuss. And now you're getting to know who you made an agreement with, and now you're looking at like, listen, I need a way out of this agreement. Because now all the fleshly part is gone, and you listen to the conversations and the worldly conversations, because our conversations inadvertently, even without us know, be in the heavens. What we talk about is different. And you see this person talking about absolutely nothing. And not only that, it doesn't matter how good the person looks. It has an effect on the attraction that you thought existed. Because you can't even have a conversation with the person. How can you spend the rest of your life and have children and set a goal or path for the kingdom with this person when you can't even talk to them? And then later on, counsel. We're just not compatible. So when were you going to tell each other that? Y'all didn't find out whether or not you were compatible first? So what brought y'all together? Now when you figure out you're not compatible? Flesh. That's all it was. What's next?
Verse number 23.
Before you go to 23, let's stop that because I'm about to digress now. I think they get the picture. Let's go to Matthew 4 and 10. Joshua 24 and 15. Before you go there, let's go to Ecclesiastes 5 and 9. And we're going to end it with those two.
Yes, sir. Ecclesiasticus chapter 5, verse 9. Winnow not with every wind.
Read it again.
Winnow not with every wind.
Say it again.
Winnow not with every wind.
Winnow not with every wind. This is something that for years I've been trying to, tell my son. Right? When you're young, especially when you're a person who used to be in the life of the party, you have to think about your agreement with the Most High. Because inadvertently, people just like you around because they need someone to stir the drink for the party. They need that light for the party, or that comedian, or that person. So you can be a person where if there's a party or a get-together, he must be there. Or she must be there because it makes the party or the gathering more interesting. So you have to now weigh all of this. What I found after finding this truth is that the same parties that were going on when I was 20, 30 years old are still happening now. I can go in the hood right now and show you where the party at, and a guy that I went to high school is there right now with a red suit on. The same red suit. I'm like, listen, man, this ain't, what do you think this is? In living color? Come on, brother. The 90s came and went, but they're still there. So just because someone call you and say, yo, let's get together. Usually, you would get this person who, it doesn't matter what's going on, they'll drop everything, even me losing their job, whatever, because their commitment is to these gatherings, these parties. So the Bible gives us wisdom on this. You can have these people who would like to be in these social gatherings and feel that they are failing people if absent. You're disappointing them. Why? Because you have to tell them no. Well, priority and responsibility comes first. Yes, it's okay to have a good time in righteousness. It's okay to let your hair down sometimes and have a little party in righteousness. But that can't be life and all exist in your purpose. Right? So the Bible tells us what? Read.
Winnow not with every wind, and go not.
Lawyer, someone says, I have a purple silk suit. Man, give me my suit back. I can one up better for you. Man, I had the purple suit, right? Half of it was the polka dot. Purple joint. No, don't worry about it, because after hitting the gym, you gotta have the oil, the olive oil chest. No shirt. I don't know, y'all. I was hurting the game, boy. Don't be cruel. I remember those days, boy. Woo! Man, I was out of my mind. The Lord looked down from heaven and said, get him. Please, get him. You sent Michael and Gabriel, do something. Get this boy. Anyway, finish reading what you got, Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Ecclesiasticus chapter 5, verse 9 says, winnow not with every wind, and go not into every way, for so doeth the sinner that hath a double tongue.
See, a sinner is immediate. Man, we were tripping. But on top of that, I don't know if I'm telling my age anyway. But anyway, during that time, sometimes you have your parties with your families. I remember brothers had going to marriages, didn't know no one in either family, and would go to marriages because you would know who the single woman were that was catching a bouquet. This is the world for you, folks. That's the world. You're in every party, every opportunity to do what? To fulfill your flesh. Read.
Verse number 10. Be steadfast in thy understanding, and let thy word be the same. Be swift to hear.
Be swift to hear.
And let thy life be sincere, and with patience give answer.
See that? Let your what? Your life.
Let thy life be sincere.
Let your life, because every decision you're making with someone, your life is in the balance. This person is moving your life into a direction. Let your what?
Let thy life be sincere.
Be serious about the vessel you have in agreement with the Most High. Be sincere with your agreement with Him. Read.
And with patience.
With what?
With patience.
With what?
With patience.
With patience.
Give answer.
Give answer. If it doesn't feel right, I don't know right now, the answer is no. Hey, what you doing right now? Nothing, just relaxing. Can I come over? No. That's it. Okay. All right, well, yeah, what else do you want to talk about? That's it. No. That's how you give your answers. What verse should I call for, Elder Rawchaa?
Going into verse 12.
Come on.
If thou hast understanding, answer thy neighbor. If not, lay thy hand upon thy mouth.
If thou have what?
If thou hast understanding, answer thy neighbor.
You answer the person or going in agreement with the person once you know the full answer to what this scenario is. Okay? So you're not walking into something blind. Know everything and then give an answer. That's what wise people do. Read.
If not, lay thy hand upon thy mouth.
And if you don't know what to say in an instant, don't say anything. Like, listen, I don't know what this is right now. And in your mind, you say, my heart may be in this, the R. Kelly syndrome. Mm-hmm. You understand? My mind is telling me no, but my body is telling me yeah. I don't want to hurt nobody. Your mind is telling you no. So just hold your mouth, chill. Now, listen what this do. His mind is telling, that's the Holy Spirit right there, buddy. Listen. Right? That's Romans 6 and 16. Mm-hmm. Know to whom you are actually yielding your spirit to. Mm-hmm. If your mind is telling you no, you have a conscience. Mm-hmm. Follow it. Mm-hmm. Read.
Verse 13. Honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of a man is his fall. Honor
and shame is what?
In talk.
In talk.
And the tongue of a man is his fall.
And the tongue of a man is his fall. And here's another level on being in agreement with someone who's in agreement with the Most High. When you are in an agreement with someone who's from the other side, everything you say is being chronologized to be used one day against you. How many times you thought telling your friend something in secret or in confidence was the right thing, and the next thing you know, your business was all over the place? You have a person who's only there to do just that you believe is a friend. Watch your mouth around people. Watch your mouth. And listen, to us, because we're together, this seems like it's normal how we interact. Folks, you are an anomaly while operating on the outside of these doors. You're different, and everyone sees it outside of you. Understand that. Watch what you say in the presence of a sinful and wicked world. Understand this. Last scripture. 2 more and that's it. Joshua 24 and 15. Read it.
Joshua chapter 24, verse 15.
Yes.
And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, Choose you this day whom ye will serve.
So it doesn't matter what you did before. If you believe that your way is right and the Most High way is evil, then Joshua even said, choose this day whom thou wilt serve. You keep the agreement or the oath that the Most High made with us to make it into the kingdom of heaven, or serve Satan. And at the end, the Most High will show the end of the matter. Fire and brimstone. Folks, use the power the Most High given you, that Christ gave us, to say no. And if you're not sure, do what? Run. All right, okay. I have some very, very good news for you all in the Philadelphia congregation. And it's a blessing that that I'm able to announce this on a day in which we are about to take communion. Right? Number one, look at the sanctuary, right? And what the Most High has done. In the back, right? Nice. And give a round of applause for the brothers and sisters and the sisters that have done the decoration and have put together the food to our church. You should have seen when they came in here to inspect, to try to see what's going on in here. It was like that landlord waiting, coming to America. Man, what y'all do with this place? They couldn't believe what it was like, what? And it's your work, brothers and sisters. It's royalty. You are royalty. A guy came in here because he had to fix the aircon tomorrow morning. Monday morning, between 9 and 10, I'll be here. And when he came in here with his sons, he seen the banquet and all those things placed. You know, he's a white guy. And you can tell that, you know, he believed, he seemed like he was a good guy. We had to have the aircon refitted. And out of nowhere, I called this number and he says, where are you? And I'm like, I just need somebody to fix the aircon for the studio in the back. I'm going to tell you about that in a moment. He was 5 minutes away in the truck with his sons and say, man, I'm 5 minutes away from you. All the numbers I called online to get this thing fixed, he was only at the Wawa around the corner. He comes in here, Lawya, and he looks around. He says, man, my daughter might be married the same time or October next year. It would probably be good, sir, if we can have something here. He says, our church is across the street where we go at, but I would like to have the reception here. Seeing how it was decorated and all that. Wow. Right? And it was just a blessing to see how even when the other nations come in and the other people come in, it's really a compliment to the work and the dedication that all of us, you especially, our body have put here in Philadelphia. And as to represent the kingdom of heaven on earth, I'll tell you. Let me tell you something. We have a full-fledged studio in the back, right? Now check out how it's going to happen. We're going to have the sound, as you can see, we put the plexiglass there. The sound person not only dealing with the full-fledged studio, and we have a studio booth, all that's back there. And then we got a line coming out to the stage now, where the stage is going to be broadcast level. No longer as soon will we have the tables here. There will be two clear acrylic Gathering of Christ Church podiums with the cordless microphones where we can broadcast at broadcast quality online or around the world, like you would see the other ministries doing. as well as high quality here. Now check this out. We have an automatic screen here. We're going to have documentaries and all that, knowledgeable documentaries, like The Pattern of Evidence, like the one me and the Elder see on Thursday nights and all that, where we can come through and build our knowledge from movies and have different movie nights for the children and all that during the times of the winter. Right? We're going to also have a screen that comes down over on this side, that when you sing the certain songs of the choir and all that, like we have in Florida, all the lyrics will come down where you can see the lyrics. And also, if I'm doing a presentation with a PowerPoint, you will see it from the screen over here. That's going to come down on this side. Right? Everything I have goes into this work. Every part of it. Everything I have goes into this work. And guess what? I'm not even expecting any of you to put in what I put in. I'm just letting you know that's my sacrifice. My life is this work. And I want to see it finished. I want to see these children growing up with the promises of Abraham and own it and take it. And that's what my sacrifice is for. Not with carnality or physical warfare, but with their minds. With their minds, brothers and sisters. We have a full-fledged music studio back here where the production is done. October 1st. October 1st in New Jersey will be the opening screening of the music project. And the project is called Purpose. For the music project, New Jersey, matter of fact, I got to go there this week, Thursday. Elder Gabar is over the whole music project as far as the other cities we're going to be in. But the music presentation with the music video and the rollout for the whole thing will be October 1st. Even though the single will be out this Sunday. We're going to have one here. We're going to have one near New York where Gabar is. We're going to have one in Philadelphia. And we're going to have one in Texas. And we're going to plan it all. And we're going to use this music to spearhead and bring forth the truth, breaking down prophecy real time throughout our neighborhoods and throughout different parts of the world. We're going to be giving free fares, which doesn't cost a dime for our people to come. We're going to have fares where we're giving out flyers, dropping the truth, doing music for our people, letting them know what's to come. And we're going to drop this on. I'm going to tell you. Let me tell you, folks. Another thing is, we're no longer going to point to the white man and the other nations to why our people are in this condition. While we're in those inner city scenarios, we're going to drop in on brothers and sisters and give them knowledge one-on-one. We're never going to blame the white man or other people for regentrification. We have to tell our people, folks, listen here. These buildings and all these things are regentrified because we let it go. We dropped the ball and began to chase the cocaine and the marijuana and all these things when the richness was always amongst the children of Israel. And we're going to rewire them differently to say, listen, it's not far from you to have what they're taking. Not only here, outside of here. And that's going to be the momentum of the Gathering of Christ Church. We're going to have our security get together. One of the main security brothers from Colorado will be coming this week. Elder Rawchaa will be down here this week. And we're going to plan this thing going forward. Elder Rawchaa is going to come over. We're going to clothe. We're going to have a meeting with our men very soon here in this body and clothe everybody that's in the camp with our new white garments. And I know have y'all seen them? Oh, yeah. And the Gathering Place Church, we're going to hit these streets here in Philadelphia in the white garments like it have never been hit before. And show the example preaching the true gospel of Christ before the wall is built, before the wall is complete. The gospel will be taught. And from the ministry, the music ministry, and spreading the gospel throughout the whole earth, it will lead us to our last phase, which is the wilderness. That's the final phase. But we can't discuss going into other areas and spreading this gospel and live in other places if we cannot first learn what it means to live and love amongst each other.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Right? And because of the donations y'all put through, y'all continue to put through your tithes and offerings and all that. Like I said, brothers and sisters, listen. You can rest assured that anything you're giving in this church, you can see where your finances is going. Okay? You can see where your finances is going. All right? You can see it. Okay? This is no giving me, and I'm sitting on a throne getting fat somewhere. No. What belongs to the church is the church. If someone give Elder Rawchaa or Elder Lawya an offering, that's our offering. But because why? The Most High sees everything, folks. And even if we weren't set up this way, where it's church separate from us, we always kept the church separate from us. We are a part of the church. We're not the church. We are a part of it. Right. And it's important that you know that your sacrifice and what you've given has not gone unrecognized, brothers and sisters. I'm going to tell you that right now. And we're going to continue, if it be the Most High, to finish this work and to make you proud towards what you contribute to by doing everything we state before you. Have we not did it so far? And all these people out there just throwing their music online and all that, not getting it, nothing for it and all that. We're doing away with all that. You can put it out there if you want. Amalek don't work like that. Everything we do is going to be on a professional level. If they can pay for that crap out there, they're going to have to pay for this. Okay? When it comes to doing all things in writing, when it comes to the company, the business, the royalties, everything is going to be transparent. There's other announcements I want to make, but those happen later when the camera's off because, you know, we got our private family conversation too. But stay tuned. We're about to dress the nation, teach the nation, right before the Babylonian balance. So, brothers, all right. Brothers and sisters that are overseas, we know you're there. We didn't forget you. We love you. Keep the seats warm. You will soon see your family after the building, right? For what?
The elders of the Gathering of Christ Church would like to invite you to enroll in the new upcoming Hebrew and Bible Academy, which begins December 23rd. The Academy is a 3-month online course which includes 12 live biblical lessons taught by the elders every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We deliver weekly analyzed news with Elder Rawchaa and Deacon Shapat with commentary on how it relates to Bible prophecy. Elder Rawchaa insightfully teaches each online Bible lesson in a personal classroom setting to enrich your learning experience. Additionally, Elder Lawya provides an introduction to the original Hebrew language, including grammar and conversational Hebrew. For new and returning students, now is a great time to enroll, as we are happy to announce that we have added never-before-taught lessons on Daniel 9, the prophecy of the final 7 years, the Battle of Armageddon, and the 1,000-year reign. This intensive course has been meticulously customized and enriched with PDF booklets and downloadable videos, automatically emailed to you after every live lesson. Enroll today at historytimes.org or email us at gatheringas1@aol.com. We look forward to seeing you there.